How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Yeah. Welcome to the Deliberate Millionaire podcast. I'm Rosemary, Nonny, the Prosperity Minister, and I support ambitious spiritual people to manifest, create, and keep the money, the resources they need to live luxuriously in their purpose. Listen in. I'll see you at the end. I will read the divine download to you now. I do not hold you back from enjoying your life. I wish you would allow yourself to enjoy your life even more. Instead, you listen to old fears, old ideas that have been placed within you by those around you or those who came before you, and you make it bad to simply enjoy your life. Your enjoyment is always tainted with shame, with fear that you are not doing something, that you are being lazy, that you should be doing more. Relax. Loosen up. Let my love flow freely through you. Breathe and release all ideas that I expect you to suffer through life as you go from one lesson to the next with no break in between. No. I call you to a magnificent life experience where you allow yourself to enjoy all that the physical reality has to offer. Enjoy the creativity of others as you share your own too. Allow yourself to be playful and happy and light and free. I am with you always, and I am all these things. The divine starts by saying, I do not hold you back from enjoying your life. I wish you would allow yourself to enjoy your life even more. Now, a lot of ambitious spiritual people, that is not the message that they absorbed growing up, or that's not what they've absorbed, even in their spirituality. Most have been trained to believe that joy must be earned. You have to earn it before you can feel it. Rest must be deserved, except it's never deserved. They never feel comfortable just resting. Pleasure is supposedly suspicious, particularly if you're brought up religious. Ease is laziness. If you're expecting things to be easy, then you're lazy. Playfulness is immaturity. And that life really is mostly duty and obligation with a few moments of relief. They may not say this, but you look at your life. Do you live this? Do you live these ideas out? So even when you say that you are enjoying something, there might be tension underneath it. A little voice in your head saying, you should be doing something else right now. You should be doing something else. No. There's too much joy. So you don't really say that to yourself. There's just the expectation that if you feel even a little bit of joy, there's going to be something to bring you right down. And if there's not something to bring you down, then you will do it to yourself. You're getting too comfortable. Do not forget to suffer a little bit. No pain, no gain, right? And ultimately, that is conditioning. It isn't freedom. And yet, if you do not question it, these ideas will continue to keep you from ever really experiencing joy in life. The divine says your enjoyment is always tainted with shame, with fear that you're not doing something, that you're being lazy, that you should be doing more. And that is how it shows up for a lot of people in actual real life. I remember having a client who, every time she would try to take a break, she could hear her mother's voice in her head saying, have you done enough? Have you not? Isn't that thing that you need to do over there? You need to do this other thing over there. And how can you stop right now? There's so much to do. And so she could never, even if she tried to relax, her head did not allow her to relax. Because then she'd spend the whole time thinking about what she should be doing and beating herself up for not being active all the time. Somebody sits down to a beautiful meal, but then you feel guilty for spending the money on the meal. You try to rest your body, but you can't relax because your mind is telling you, okay, how productive have you been today? Have you done everything? All of that going on and on and on. You try to enjoy music or beauty or laughter or intimacy or just chilling and, taking it easy. And immediately you feel like you need to make up for it by doing more and more and more and more. Enough. Joy is available. A pleasant life is available. But if you contaminate it with shame that you're not doing enough all the time, then you'll never really, truly, fully experience the joys that being in the physical reality can give you. And so you don't allow joy. You don't allow goodness in your life. The divine points to this. You listen to old fears, old ideas that have been placed within you by those around you or those who came before you. And this is inherited weightiness. And not in a good way. Ideas like life is hard, you have to deal with it. It's just life is hard, what are you going to do? Work first, joy later, except joy, there's never ever time for joy. I mean, even our work system is work for 40 years and then you'll be able to retire. And some people do, But a lot of people, once they've run out of function, they die. They die. Suddenly it's like, what's the point of being alive? And so then they pass on. You don't want that to be you. Only irresponsible people relax is another idea that you might have inside of you. You must always be proving yourself. Suffering makes you holy. There is always another lesson to learn. Always something happening. So you're always looking for the lessons everywhere. You are here to endure, not enjoy. And this might even seem really holy. And if you're wondering, if there's a part of you telling yourself, I don't do that, I want you to check, especially if you have children. Do you do it with your children? Because sometimes you might not be able to see what you're doing to yourself. But I'm asking you to be a bit more aware of what you do with your children. If you see them sitting around chilling, do you immediately think of all the things that they should be doing? Do you start yelling at them for being lazy or anything like that? You might not, but notice. Do you think it, but you have the wisdom not to say it every single time? Or you go into a shop or something and you see some of the staff not really doing anything. What are you thinking immediately? What thoughts come to mind? Oh, look at them looking lazy and not really doing anything. Or not. Check in with yourself, because if you are judging others, the chances are the voice towards yourself is probably even louder. And the divine is saying, that's not my view of life. For a lot of people, this feels like reality. That, no pain, no gain. Life is hard. You just need to get on with it. Some people really just own it. And I'm very proud of this. Yeah, life is hard. And I'm not, I'm saying life can be challenging. Absolutely it can. Absolutely it can. But it doesn't mean you don't get to experience joy, though. It doesn't mean that every time you do experience any kind of joy, you have to immediately be looking for the next challenge and the next problem to solve. The divine doesn't worship suffering. The divine does not need your suffering. The divine said in that divine download, release all ideas that I expect you to suffer through life as you go from one lesson to the next with no break in between. And a lot of religious or spiritual people unconsciously think that life is just meant to be one long obstacle course. That the divine is always teaching them a lesson, always correcting them, always requiring that they learn how to endure, always moving them from one hard lesson to another hard lesson to another hard lesson. And so they don't trust joy. They wait for the other shoe to drop. This is not going to last. It's not going to last. Enjoy it while I can. Enjoy it while I can, but it's not going to last. Something bad is probably going to come next. Really? But the divine says no. You are called to a magnificent life experience. A magnificent life experience if you will allow it. If you will allow it. For a lot of people, it's almost like you're invited to a wedding feast. And there's so much. On the table, there's so much stuff. In the room, there's laughter, there's music, there's beauty, there's food, there's anything you could ever desire. It's all available. And yet, you stand in the corner saying, shouldn't I be helping in some way? Am I allowed to enjoy this? It's not really mine, is it? Do I need to do something else first? What if I laugh too loud, too much? What if people think I'm too much and they don't want me here or something? What if I relax and get into trouble? But you're invited to the feast, to enjoy, to relax, to experience joy, happiness. Sometimes you try to separate happiness from joy. I definitely used to do this, where it's like, happiness is too shallow. I want the deep joy, which really actually didn't really mean joy at all. It was a solemnity. Even when I spoke of it, there was a part of me that felt as if it had to be solemn and serious. But of course it was joy, not happiness, because happiness was just floaty and frivolous. And of course I wasn't looking to be happy. I was going to be joy. I was going to be joyful. And it was kind of crazy. It's like, no, you know what? Your life is to be enjoyed fully with laughter and happiness. And so you can. And you can grow whilst being happy and joyous and everything. It doesn't have to be painful and it doesn't have to be suffering. The feast is available. It's all already yours. Stop standing in the corner somewhere wondering if you're allowed in. Yes, you are. It's yours. It's yours already. It's yours already. Playfulness is not a distraction. The divine goes on to say, allow yourself to be playful and happy and light and free, which can sound quite simple. And a lot of people, especially spiritual people, there's a tendency to think spirituality is supposed to be noble and heavy and solemn and with a straight face and all of that. Enough. You're not lazy. You're not a lazy person, but you are burdened with an identity of being too serious. That you're supposed to be seriously serious all the time. No. You've learned to associate importance with heaviness. No, actually playfulness. It's not the opposite of purpose. It isn't. If anything, your true design is to be playful, to be creative, to be open, to be receptive, to be, energized and courageous, and to have that intimacy with the divine, but not as a solemn relationship with the divine. No, it is a joyous thing. Loosen up, because then you'll hear the divine even more clearly, actually, if you would loosen up. The divine also says, I call you to a magnificent life experience where you allow yourself to enjoy all that the physical reality has to offer. Enjoy the creativity of others as you share your own too. You're not merely here to survive. You're here to enjoy being here. Your purpose is to enjoy being here. Your purpose is to enjoy being here on planet Earth whilst you're here, which does include music and laughter and movement and intimacy and good food and spaciousness and luxury, yes, and celebration and nature and creative expression. The fullness of life, allowing yourself to experience the fullness of life. And you might be saying to yourself, yeah, well, you don't know my situation, because if you did, then you know there's no room for joy here. There's always room for joy. If anything, in whatever your situation is, there's nothing that joy can't make feel a lot better. The choice to just kind of, okay, well, because you've thought about it hard and you've tried very hard to come at your situation with seriousness. Has it worked? No? Okay, so maybe just let go. Let go and allow yourself to just have fun and see what comes out of that instead. Of course, you have the option of getting on the phone with me or something along those lines if you're really feeling stuck somewhere, because there's always a joyous way forward. There's always a joyous way forward. You can come into group as well, do your check-in. I will help you find a joyous way forward. There's always a joyous way forward. Regardless of how you're feeling and how tense and everything you might be feeling right now, there's always a joyous way forward. You can personalize this and find out your next step by coming and doing your check-in, or coming to the Freedom event, or getting on the phone with me in the consultation, and I will help you see what your next joyous step is. But there is a joyous step if you allow yourself to experience joy without judging yourself, without policing yourself. Listen, the divine is not trying to drag you through life kicking and screaming or suffering and sacrificing everything. You're being invited into the fullness of life, into play, into joy, into lightness, into freedom, into delight, magnificent delight. It's available to you. So the question isn't, am I allowed to enjoy this? No, it's, will you allow yourself to? Will you allow yourself to enjoy life? That's the real question. Will you? And if you're ready to take your first step onto the Deliberate Millionaire path to a free, fulfilled, financially abundant, love-drenched life, then number one is to go get the I Am the Authority affirmation songs and meditation program. Link is going to be in the description around this video, audio, or whatever. Or if you would prefer to be in touch with me privately, then there will also be a link in the description. It's been a pleasure sharing all of this with you. Again, go forth and prosper. Much love.